And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And we're here. It's just
yeah. It's kind of
this
weird.
has been weird. We've had someone here all the time lately.
Yeah. It's good to have just the originals.
Exactly. Exactly. So how have you guys been?
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Are you working at all now, James?
Yeah. We've been doing skip the whole time. Just me and my boss.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I remember you mentioned that. Yeah, I've been working steady, so people still need
That's
their
good.
internet.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. More than ever.
Yeah, but you work from home now, right, Rob?
I do.
Yeah.
No days for me.
I'm essential. I have to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we're considered essential, but luckily I can work from here.
No.
I'll take it.
Well, I can't do my job from here. So.
Why not?
Because I have to test all the crappy modems that people send back to us.
Why don't they bring them to your house?
Do you know how many that would be?
Okay.
Not to mention, I don't have multiple cable lines and DSL lines for me to plug stuff in. So, no.
Sounds like a you problem. All right.
What's our topic this week, Rob?
Our topic? Why? Funny you should ask. I think I might be on your list.
Getting there.
Yeah, maybe not disturbed, but definitely upset. Yeah, our topic, top 10 movies that disturbed or upset us. And this has been an interesting list for me. Because
I struggled, so.
Yeah, because do you go just with the straight gross out films? Or is it more of an emotional impact?
That's what I was leaning on.
Yeah, because there's certain gross out films like that don't bother me at all. Like none of the Saw films bother me a lot. The majority of horror films where it's just like gore out to here, it doesn't bother me. But there's some kinds that do.
Yeah, what I kind of went on, and again, I had to. That's where we added the upset part because I didn't have enough that truly disturbed me. But when I sat and thought about it, I had to go back to my childhood, really, because I'm older now and mature now. To like, it's very rare for a movie nowadays to really disturb me. But there are a couple from recent years.
Okay, I'll agree with older. All right, I can't back that second one.
So,
number 10. Jason, what's your number 10?
Again, this is going back to the childhood. And this is mainly for one particular scene. But I don't think I'm going to be alone here because this scene has traumatized me. It still comes up on a regular basis. I'm going with 1984's The Never-Ending Story.
Oh.
And you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the horse in the bog?
Yes.
Oh.
For a 10-year-old boy who was absolutely adoring this film, having to live through that type of situation, I get choked up just thinking about it. And anytime there's a reference to it or somewhere, it bums me out. I put Artax in the Swamp of Sorrow on par with Opie from Sons of Anarchy. That's how traumatizing that scene was.
Oh, I never got that far on the show, but I always hear about that scene.
They're on the same level for me.
I don't know. See, Opie came out of nowhere. And, I knew the horse was going to,
Yeah.
I used to watch Neverending Story a lot when I was a kid, and the scene that affected me more than the horse dying was these look like good big strong hands. That big rock guy.
Yeah, rock biter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that whole film. It just has some amazing emotional notes that really hit home. And again, it was a movie targeted at kids. I was 10 years old when that movie came out, and it still hits me all in the right spots, and I still get the same feelings. So there we go. That made my list for that reason.
See, I'll be honest with you. I watched it when I was young, and it hurt watching that. And I don't think I've ever watched it since.
It hurt like in a bad way? Like you didn't like it?
Well, the horse, that hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, it got me. And I've just never revisited it. Never.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it should be on my list. But normally I do a list with rewatchability. So I tried to focus that as well. But it's hard. It's disturbing, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, do you really want to go back to that?
Yep.
But Never Ending Story is one that I do revisit. I'm looking forward to my granddaughter being old enough so I can share it with her. That and Labyrinth. Labyrinth.
Labyrinth for sure.
And Never Ending Story just go hand in hand for me.
Exactly. All right. Well, James, what's your number 10?
I bumped something off the list just a minute ago because I'm gonna echo Jason's childhood disturbing kind of movies, not with Never Ending Story, but with one. I said childhood movies. This one caused me to freak out in the theater and scream my 7-year-old ass off. This was from 1983. This was Superman 3. And this was the final scene where the whole bad rich people, the woman gets sucked into the machine and gets like wires crossed and gets turned into a robot. Freaked me out.
Yeah,
yes. And I found the scene on YouTube not too long ago. I still don't like to watch that scene.
No, though I saw that scene. That scene came up recently on a YouTube video or something I watched, and that scene is still terrifying. Like, I'll agree that was a terrifying scene in what was mostly a silly film.
Very silly.
That's crazy. Yeah, I never thought about it.
I do. Yeah, just the whole idea of her just getting taken over and all. It was really, when you think about the effects that they did for that scene, it kind of goes in the same direction as the original Evil Dead with the tree.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. Okay, obviously she doesn't get raped by the machine in Superman 3, but very, very similar effect, if you will.
Now, that's very, very true. That is very true. Greg commented, James, are you sure you don't want to add Freddy Got Fingered?
Greg, I considered that, but I think I fast forwarded through some of the movie at the end, so I couldn't qualify it. And I don't remember. I tried to block a lot of that movie out, but there was the elephant scene.
Oh, dude,
I honestly don't know much about that movie. Like, I don't know if I ever actually fully watched it.
It's got Tom Green in it. That's enough.
Greg likes the movie, and more power to him. I decided to not put it on the list just because I don't remember a lot of it and I don't want to revisit it.
But now, if you think about it, a lot of stuff is going to be on our list for a scene.
Yes.
So technically, you could have that.
And I did. And that was in the other half of me saying I considered it.
Because see, my number 10 is for a scene. And wait a second. It was a horse scene. Yep.
I thought it was an elephant scene.
Every person should have pleasures. That is very true.
He's got a point.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Well, my number 10 is for a scene as well, and it goes right from the beginning to the end. It's the human centipede. It's that whole scene.
That was the one I bumped off for Superman 3. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. You're good. You're good.
Okay. That comes up later on my list, but I'm not going to talk about it now because of how I've listed it. Okay.
Fair enough.
So when we get to it, I'll explain.
Well, we're going to get to it quick because I've just said it, and that's pretty much all that needs to be said.
Yep.
So we'll go number 9. Jason, number 9.
So, all right. So, again, this is on the upsetting side. Now, this is in a different direction. And I've rallied about this film on this show. And it's not the movie you think it is, because that's coming later. This is from 2017, Locked Up. It was a film on Netflix about a teenage high school girl who gets in trouble. She gets bullied, and she fights back and ends up going to a reform school, which is actually a prison. And then she gets forced to get into cage fighting.
Did you talk about this on the podcast like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe?
Yes. Yeah. When I watched it, yes.
I got a vague memory of you talking about this.
I ripped it to shreds. I also wrote a review about it when I was writing for World of Myth, because the whole movie is awful. And that's why it upset me, because it made me angry to watch this movie. And the nonsensical way the story played out, the acting was horrible. And I'm sorry, okay, these are supposed to be, or at least the main character was supposed to be a teenage high school girl. I can't get behind a film where they graphically show her getting raped by prison guards. Like, that's one of the many things that that really pissed me off about this film. And I'm pretty sure still on Netflix. I don't get it.
Really? It's still there.
I'm pretty sure. I don't actively search it out, of course, but I'm pretty sure I saw it just in passing when I was trying to find something to watch the other day.
I am going to take a quick look, because I'm curious.
My review was basically spoiling the entire film and just nonsensically describing, what? You mean this is happening now? What?
Well, it is, but it has it listed as a 2020 film.
No, that can't be the same one.
Locked Up. Manipulated into embezzling funds for her boyfriend and sentenced.
Nope, that's not it.
Oh, it's a different one.
That's a different film.
Oh, wait. This is a series. Okay, then it's not on here.
It's not on there anymore?
Maybe
Okay.
it's a series based on that movie.
No, there's no embezzling involved.
People want to.
But you know how they change details from movies to TV shows? You never know.
Now,
If that's the case, then just burn it. Burn it with fire.
I do have to ask, because we've had a YouTube moment, maybe. Are you home alone, Jason?
No.
Oh, okay. Because the door opened and closed behind you.
Yes. That would be the ghost.
I didn't see that. That would have been creepy.
I'm never alone in this house. There's a ghost.
Yep.
But no, actually, that was my wife letting the dog in, because my dog's water bottle is in here. So
Very good. Okay.
if you listen, you might hear some clicking. That's the dog drinking from her water bottle.
Or the ghost playing jacks. Anyway, James, number 9.
Okay, my number 9 used to go hand in hand kind of with number 10, in that I considered it more disturbing, or rather unsettling, than The Human Centipede. And I said as much to Kevin on Twitter. I wish I had said it in person when I got to see him in Windsor. It is 2014's Tusk.
I love the movie, but I don't exactly. I couldn't put it on this list. I considered it.
I tried to populate the list mostly with movies that I still enjoy to watch, even though they have that unsettling or disturbing element to it. It's the whole process of him getting turned into the walrus that I find very unsettling, but I still enjoy the movie.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I couldn't, because it didn't disturb me. I just enjoyed it because it was so original.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
Kevin, of course. I have a different Kevin Smith movie later on my list. So,
interesting. Okay,
Ooh, it's suspense.
Well, my number 9 is for one scene, and again, this is actually just a scene. Actually, it's from
That's cool.
2015's Bone Tomahawk, and it is the scene where they decide they are going to eat this person. And yes.
Is it the make a wish?
Kind of, yes. Because usually they'll insinuate a cut or something like that, and they'll cut away, and it's left to your imagination. They did not do that here.
You got to watch them carve the turkey?
Right. And it makes you squirm.
I've always
Yeah.
heard that about that film. I've never got around to watching it, but I've heard that it is a brutal film.
It is a brutal film. I highly recommend it. It is really good, especially for Kurt Russell and his mustache.
Right.
And his mustache. Does the mustache get separate credit?
He's got just as fantastic a mustache in this movie as he does in Hateful Eight.
Oh, all
it gets
right.
second billing.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets second billing. Yeah, but that scene it nearly made this list.
Yeah, I had to.
I do need to break down and finally watch that one because I've heard good things about that movie for a while now.
So good.
Do it.
Cool.
But until you do it, number 8.
All right. Now this is going to be the last one that's of the exciting category, but you know it had to be here because my stance on this film is very well documented. 2016's Amerigeddon. A right-wing propaganda bullshit that has no logic whatsoever. I can feel my blood rising right now just talking about it. So it's well documented that I absolutely hate this film. In my mind, this is one of the worst pieces of film ever created, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
This one I remember more that you talked about it.
Yeah.
And I've watched it twice.
Oh.
Because I rewatched it when I wrote my cautionary tale review article for the magazine.
That's just a glutton for punishment. That's what that one is.
I was making sure I got all the facts right because I want to warn people off of this film.
Did I really hate it? Yes, I really hated it. All right, James, number 8.
My number 8 is from 1997. It is Neil LaBoute's directing debut and pretty much the first movie that Aaron Eckhart had a leading role in. It is called In the Company of Men. And this is basically, you get two guys, Aaron Eckhart and Matt Malloy. One of them is, Aaron Eckhart is just a self-proclaimed misogynist, and the other guy just recently got his heart broken. And they get together, they work together, and they just decide, okay, we're going to single out a particular woman, and we're going to ruin her life. So he's basically going to meet a woman, get into her life, get into a relationship, and then just completely, like, emotionally obliterate her. So it's a well written, well acted movie, but the content is unsettling, and it's all dialogue.
Like it.
Yeah,
all dialogue.
I'm intrigued. Now, Greg's got me intrigued too because he said Clerks 2 is definitely on my list.
Well, certainly on some critics' list too.
Can you kick him out of the chat, please?
Yes. There he goes. He's gone.
This is me shutting Greg off.
I'm sorry. Clerks 2 has one of the best scenes when they start talking about Lord of the Rings and Return of the Jedi. That is the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, almost equally is when Elias starts talking about pillow pants, and just the lighting and the look on Randall's face.
Pillow pants and Lister Fiend.
Yes. Oh, there's a smile. I guess he got back in. I'm not sure how that happened.
Damn it, we need to lock those doors.
Yeah. I got to be honest too. When I play World of Warcraft, I have a troll character named Pillow Pants.
What? You too?
Yep.
My buddy Taz years ago had one named Pillow Pants.
Yep, I had to.
Obviously, you weren't on the same server.
It talked a donkey sex. Donkey.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what upset.
Yeah,
So that scene was tame.
Not like
and it's called interspecies erotica.
Right? If you've watched the movie, you know. See, it's not like my number 8. I love watching this movie, but when it comes to that scene, I always kind of 1998's American History X.
Oh no.
I've never watched this movie.
The curb
What? Oh,
I've
Oh.
never ever watched it. I've got numerous people who have always gotten on me about watching it. I've never have.
You're about to have
It
two more.
is an excellent movie, but that scene just makes you do this.
I bet. I have heard about that scene very, very, very many times.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not even fully shown, but man, it makes you cringe.
Yeah.
I've lived through. So I curb stomped myself once
Not like this.
when I was like 12 playing bicycle tag, and bicycle tag
Oh.
is a stupid ass game, and I ended up hitting my front two teeth off the curb
Oh, maybe you did.
and chipped my front
Ow.
teeth. So I curb stomped myself.
Yep. Okay. I think you did. It's just like someone's stepping on the back of your head. That's all. Well, Jason, let's get to number 7. What's your number 7?
All right, this is my Kevin Smith entry.
Ooh.
2011's Red State.
Oh,
And while the whole movie is disturbing, the fact that it came from the mind of Kevin Smith makes it more disturbing to me. The fact that it's loosely
the
based
movie
on a real person,
Oh, okay.
but because it's loosely based on the Westboro Baptist Church. But the scene in the church with the guy fully wrapped in saran wrap and then they shoot him in the head. That to me is one of the most terrifying death scenes ever in a film.
I get
and
you.
it's that is terrifying to me. Truly terrifying.
I can't argue.
No, it is unsettling, especially like wrapped up in cellophane and then the straight down on top of the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it came from Kevin.
I know.
Yeah. He's
I still have trouble convincing myself that he did it.
He's got a dark side, damn it.
He does, but aside from maybe a few lines from Kevin Pollak, even the dialogue doesn't sound like him.
No. Well, yes and no. Obviously, he tones back the humorous aspect, but
Yeah.
Kevin's dialogue is definitely a lot more natural and what you might call normal. So
That being said,
that still comes across.
That being said, it still has the best monologue I've ever seen John Goodman ever give.
Mm-hmm.
His entire testimony at the end.
Yep.
he is so good in that.
Although my favorite line in that whole movie is, "How much do you think a cross like that costs? What, in dollars or common sense?"
Zing.
Excellent. All right, James, number 7.
Oh, okay. My number 7's from 2011 as well, coincidentally. It is We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Aha.
This is another one that I've heard a little bit about, but I've never seen.
It is so good. It is unsettling. The scene, sort of a sequence of scenes I'm talking about, occurred near the end, which I will not say because you haven't seen it, Jason.
No, go ahead.
But,
go ahead, because it's not high on my radar by any means. So just go ahead.
It's a lot of the movies about whether if a kid grows up bad, is it nature or nurture? Is it like the mom's fault because she never wanted to have a child and she misses the single life, or because the kid was born bad? Well, the movie jumps back and forth in time, so you realize like she's married to John C. Reilly, and she has a son and a daughter. The son is Kevin, of the title, and there's the daughter. But as the movie goes on, it's always jumping back to present day. And in the past, you see the family. In present day, you just see Tilda Swinton. It's like, well, okay, where's her husband? Where's Kevin? And where's the daughter? Well, Kevin kind of went Columbine on his whole family towards the end because you couldn't have put that up. But he did it because he essentially had been ordering stuff online, like locks and stuff, and he thought it was really cool. And like his dad was showing him how to shoot a bow and arrow. And what he essentially did was he went to the school where they're having some event. He put all these bike locks on all the doors, and he basically went into the auditorium and was just picking people off with his bow and arrow. And when his mom comes home, she finds John C. Reilly and the daughter in the backyard, all splayed out on the lawn with like arrows sticking out of them. So it's when everything
Wow.
starts to come together towards the end of the movie, you're just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. But yeah, so
Wow.
It's yeah. That's all I can say.
That sounds terrifying.
it kind of is, but
I don't think I'll ever watch this movie.
well,
I don't.
it's hard to recommend a movie where this stuff happens, but the performances, especially Ezra Miller and Tilda Swinton, are just out of this world.
It's worth
but I
watching
understand
for that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I changed my number 6 and my number 7 just so I could be like you guys. My number 7 is from 2011. And it's Straw Dogs, the remake of Straw Dogs.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes.
That's with Marsden, right?
Yep.
And Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah.
One of my celebrity man crushes.
Yep.
and Kevin's too, I think.
Yeah, he was at one point.
He is not such a nice guy in here.
No. I never saw the original, but I did see that one, and that movie was intense.
Are you talking about the scene on the couch? Yep. Or just the movie in general?
Well, the movie in general, but definitely that scene with Kate Bosworth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a rough watch just for that part.
Mm-hmm.
But the story itself, I love the story.
That movie really built the intensity on a nice slow burn. Mm-hmm. As I recall, it's been a while since I saw it, but I know the scene you're talking about. But yeah, what I remember about that movie was just how the intensity was just a nice slow build. Yeah,
it has that one big impact, that boom, you know, and then everything else after that just escalates.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, number 6.
All right, number 6 for me. Because this is, I was starting to get into a little bit more of the modern horror, and this movie has stuck with me mainly again for one scene, but the premise of it I thought was really original. I'm going with 2005's Hostel.
Oh yeah, almost considered it.
I thought the concept is a little terrifying because I just feel like there could be rich people really doing this. But the stuff with just all the torture was just done in such graphic detail, and it didn't look fake. You know what I mean? Like the effects were so well done that it really made me cringe and queasy. The eyeball and the cutting the guy's Achilles tendons and all that. Like, that is a disturbing flick, and it is the first film where they gave it its own subgenre of torture porn.
Yep.
That's the film that really launched the whole torture porn subgenre.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You have movies like Straw Dogs and stuff like that where they have that scene, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hostel has a bunch of those scenes.
Yeah. Like that's the whole second half of the film, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. James.
My number 6 is also from 2005, and it's by a director who's in the same league as Eli Roth, and I think his movie is in the same league as well. It's called Wolf Creek.
This is based on
and this is sort of like the Australian serial killer that is targeting these backpackers, but it's more for one particular scene where he catches one girl as she's trying to escape, and he does to her what is called making a head on a stick. And he's saying like they used to do this in Vietnam. They call it making a head on a stick, and he basically stabs her through the back and severs her spine. And they have the sound effect, and like she falls down on the ground, and like she's paralyzed, but she's still awake. He's like, "See, head on a stick," and that scene I would qualify as it.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah. I oh no.
Wow. If you can feel that, you're going to feel my pick for number 6, which coincidentally is from 2005.
No way.
Yeah, it is. It stars Patrick Wilson and Elliot Page. It's
Ooh,
called Hard Candy.
I've never watched this movie. I heard it referenced particularly for her when she was starting to break out. Everything would say she's from Hard Candy. See her? I know. I never did.
Well,
it is an intense movie.
She plays a young girl who basically lures pedophiles, and Patrick Wilson plays this pedophile who she then ties up and does things to certain parts of these people. Yes. Thought you could feel the spine. You can feel that.
I knew I wasn't going to like this list.
And we're not even in the top 5 yet. Okay, top 5. Jason, what's your number 5?
Well, my top 5, or my number 5 is from 2003, and I don't think James likes this movie, but it's High Tension.
I love this movie.
Oh, okay. Well,
it must be horrible.
I enjoy the movie a lot, because it came out of nowhere for me. But where I put it on this list, particularly again for one scene, although I love the concept of the whole film and it is pretty trippy, but when when the killer comes into the house and he grabs the husband and shoves his head through the banisters of the stairwell, and he's stuck there. And then he takes a bookshelf that's right on the other side of the wall and slides it across, decapitating the guy with the bookshelf.
I haven't seen
you see this in all its graphic glory. And it's just a massive fountain of blood, and yeah. It had to be on this list. I had to. It was one of the first things that came to mind when I started doing this list.
I haven't seen that movie, but I think I need to now. Interesting.
That scene is something. The whole film is really. I love the movie. The concept. It's definitely got similar vibes. I don't know, James. Is there any connection between High Tension and Martyrs? Like, is there like a director, writer, or anything?
They're both made by French directors, but they're not actually connected.
Okay. I thought there might be a vibe because there's definitely a similar vibe there. Maybe it's just the French horror aspect.
Yeah, there's several French horror movies, 2 of which are on my list, but yeah, High Tension, and there's another one called Frontiers that are 2 other separate French directors.
Okay.
So
interesting.
The French know how to do intense horror. That's weird.
All right, James, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is from 1999, and it is the Japanese horror film called Audition.
I've heard of this.
This one's done by Takashi Miike, and there's several scenes in this where the main actress is using these sort of like wires to saw like feet off or heads off or
like piano wire.
It's kind of like that, but it's some sort of steel wire.
Oh, maybe a cable.
And she basically is like making like a sing-song tune as she does it, and yeah, it's that's not all, but that's where I'll leave it.
And you said that's Miike, is that his name?
Takashi Miike, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a few movies like that under his belt, doesn't he?
He does. He's very prolific
I've heard that name in connection with very out there Japanese horror.
Yes. He also does some normal movies too, but yeah, he is known for that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, luckily, you just reminded me of one that really got to me, and I just changed it out for my number 5. This is a one from 2020. It was actually in Blood in the Snow, and right now it's on the Super Channel called Anything for Jackson. And it's interesting because it is a dark comedy almost. It's an older couple, Sheila McCarthy and Julian Richings, and they are learning Satanism so they can bring their grandson back. Okay. So
What people get up to in lockdown.
right? But there is one scene in particular. Julie and I actually teased about it because we call it extensive dental hygiene. And the scene is set where he is in bed and he kind of wakes up and he looks in the bathroom and it looks like his wife is there and he can see her flossing. And he's going, okay, is everything all right? And all of a sudden you hear tink, 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 as teeth are falling into the sink. And she turns around. It's this weird ghost, but she just keeps going and teeth are coming out. And it was so messed up. It's so good.
Like she's sawing her teeth out?
Basically, yeah. She is flossing like there's no tomorrow. And yeah.
I don't like this list.
I completely forgot about that until James just reminded me.
Oh, we need to do something about sweet puppy movies next week or something.
Here's Jamie Hemmings. She goes, I want to watch Anything for Jackson. It's currently on Shudder. It's on Shudder in the States and it's on Super Channel here in Canada.
Okay.
It's well worth the watch. It's like I said, it's a dark comedy. But other than that scene, and I think one more that are very like, ooh, it's a dark comedy. It's so good. So good. Okay. Number 4. Jason.
Number 4. Now, number 4 came at me directly because of this podcast. And it started with the trailer. The trailer freaked me out.
Clown?
It is 2014's Clown.
Yes.
The trailer alone freaked me out. Then there was the prospect that they were going to force me to watch it with somebody dressed as a clown in the room. We couldn't bring that together, so I did break down and watch it myself. And I've determined that I don't like movies that do bad things to children in a serious way. If it is done in a purely serious, horrific way, I can't do kids. I can't.
Do you know the premise of this movie, James?
I used to own this movie.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
So, yeah, I don't do well with bad things happening to kids in a serious fashion. Like, you take your dark comedies, cooties and whatnot. Okay, that's silly fun. When it's a serious prospect, that really gets me. And this movie, it got me.
Okay, I get that. I do.
When he's in the place thing, hiding in there, it's very reminiscent of a Pennywise situation, honestly. Well, when he's hiding in the ball pit, in the tunnels and all that, like.
I can be 100% honest. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I know you did.
It's a pretty good movie. Done another one done by John Watts, who did Cop Car and then the 2 Spider-Man movies.
I do want to see it. It's just one of those things that's on a list, and I just never seem to get to it.
Like it was really well done. Like it is a good horror movie, but the kid stuff, it'll get you if that's a problem for you, which I would hope it's a problem for most people.
No doubt. Yeah. No, we're good. Throw a dozen in there. We're okay. All right. James, number 4.
My number 4 is one of 2 French horror films on there from 2007. This is called Inside. And this is where a pregnant woman is alone in her house and she starts getting attacked from all sides by various people. And just among the several violent things that happen in this movie, there's one particular scene towards the end where, let's say, she's pregnant, she's going into labor, and scissors are involved.
Pick this topic. I really want.
Hey, I did, but you guys agreed to it.
Yeah, that's true. Greg says the lovely bones weirds me out.
Oh, I have that, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, so now you got to watch it and find out why it weirds out Greg.
I've heard it's a good movie. It is Peter Jackson, after all.
That is true too. I forgot it was Peter Jackson. And see, nice segue out of scissors and pregnancy. Look at that. My number 4 has already been talked about. It was Hostel. Oh, Jason, are you good for your number 3?
I'm still reeling from this whole scissors thing. Like, I know I'm never gonna watch this movie, and I'm definitely not going anywhere near it.
No,
after hearing that, no,
you got to watch it because maybe you'll get rock or paper.
No, don't know.
You could try the American remake because they soften the ending.
No, thank you. No. I'm good. Thanks.
Here we go. Let's get Jason back in the game. Greg says Peter Jackson is better than Kevin Smith any day.
That's
Jason's back.
Who let him in here?
There he's gone again. There.
Okay. Number 3. This is definitely going back to my childhood. The next 2 are back to my childhood. Why I watched this film, I don't know. When I watched this film, I can't exactly say. I had to be probably in my early mid-teens. This is 1978's Faces of Death.
Oh, I always heard about this ever since I was a kid.
This is a movie that up until not long ago, I was always told, and they marketed it because it was done as a documentary, but it's not a documentary per se.
It's found footage.
There is some real footage in there, though.
Really?
There are a few scenes in it that are real footage.
Now you sound like a wrestling fan.
No, this is part of the research I did about this film today because I remembered it, and I knew that I knew I had read somewhere previously that it was debunked that it was totally a documentary. Okay, I knew that, but I wanted to know a little bit more. And there are, I think it said 3 scenes that are real.
Now you're
and I'm not going to say which ones.
You're sounding like Sid now when he tells his stories. You're sounding like it. Wrestling's fake. Yes, it is. Except that one time. No, you just said it was fake.
Dude, let's not go there. I survived watching Royal Rumble last night. All right, so
there you go.
Yeah, that's become a tradition for Mike and I for 3 Noses to watch the Royal Rumble match.
There you good books today. Now I'm having fun. Sorry, guys.
You're not sorry. So yeah,
Star Wars: The Last Jedi served me.
I do want to agree with him on that one. I almost was going to put that in here under the upsetting side, but it didn't quite make the cut.
Well, there's upsetting ooh, and then there's upsetting oh. Why did they do that? That's totally different upsets.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, Face of the Death really did stick with me for a long time until the truth came out, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Greg said, sorry, not sorry. All right. James, number 3.
My number 3 is from 2019. It is Midsummer. And this one has several graphic death scenes in it, sort of. But one in particular is one that I saw in one of the first episodes of Hannibal, the TV show, which I only watched briefly, and I've heard that it's in the show Vikings as well. But it's an act that's called a Blood Eagle.
Oh,
Vikings has a scene of that in the 2nd season, I believe.
2nd.
Yeah, Hannibal has it in the 1st season, and it's also in this movie. And it's always unsettled me to see that depicted. And then there's also the scenes where old person jumps off a cliff and lands and breaks his leg and gets his head mashed in with a mallet. And
oh yeah,
I've heard mixed things about that movie, so it hasn't come close to my radar.
I hear a lot better things about the guy's previous movie Hereditary, but I thought that was a little too weird for me. So I was recommended, or I was not recommended this one because my friend Dalton thought I would hate it, and I ended up loving this one. So,
Sounds about right.
yep.
My number 3 is from 2004, a Mel Gibson film. And I've only watched this one twice because it's so hard to watch. And it's The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, I thought you were going to say The Beaver.
Well, for different reasons. Okay. This one, just the abuse in the movie it's hard to watch.
I've never watched it. I never will. I read the book. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's an awesome movie.
Oh man, the acting is amazing.
That's what I hear, but no thanks. But I have heard how graphic it is and how intense in the acting. So I always heard that. It just I don't.
Well, there is the Passion recut where they tone down the violence.
Once Upon a Passion of the Christ.
Fred Savage trapped in his bed again.
Deadpool reading the Bible to him. You could do that for any film. This is awesome. All right, now this is concerning because I know Jason said Human Centipede's on here somewhere. We're at number 2. Okay, so Jason, number 2.
Number 2 is not Human Centipede.
Oh, it's number 1.
It's my but I'll explain. There's logic there.
We're good.
So my number 2 is from 1982. Again, this is my childhood, and it's the original Poltergeist. Now, I don't know why I watched that movie numerous times as a kid, and I don't know why because I know it freaking terrified me. I watched it a few times. The guy, the scene with the guy's face coming off.
In this.
Yes, pieces of his face. The clown, of course. The clown doll, and when the tree reaches in and grabs them and pulls them into the pool and stuff, like that movie terrified me as a kid. And I've thought recently, like in the last year or two, that I was going to revisit that movie. I can't bring myself to do it.
Really?
I didn't see it until I was a teenager or early 20s, and I was really, really disappointed by that movie.
Wait,
see, that's where it's different.
What's what?
Original or remake?
Original. I thought the original was kind of weak.
See, I can't bring myself to revisit it for 2 reasons. Because either A, it's not going to hold up, and it's going to make me hate. It's going to make me dislike a movie that I do cherish from my childhood. Or B, nostalgia hits a big part for me right now. It may send me back into my childhood trauma days. Like it may not end well for me.
Where's Jason? I don't know. He watched Poltergeist. Now he's out back playing Cowboys and Indians.
I don't know I'm afraid that it's going to get emotional for me more than I expected. Like I don't know what kind of effect it's going to have. So I'm afraid to watch it again.
It's a subpar haunted house movie.
I was talking with
James.
Oliver.
I'm not going to let you get to me. You just shush. Please, just shush.
I was talking with Oliver Robbins, who plays Robbie in the film, and you mentioned the clowns. We actually sat down and figured out timeline. Poltergeist came out before it was written.
Oh,
so we have a working theory, Oliver and I, that Stephen King may have been influenced by the clown from Poltergeist. We have no evidence. We have nothing to back it up. But apparently, you look at American politics, you don't need evidence. So that's our theory. That's our proof.
Well, how long is the idea of scary or creepy clowns and horror clowns?
Yeah, no, we're not. Those facts don't matter.
Oh, okay. We're just worried about did he get the idea from Poltergeist? Got it.
Right. That's it.
All right.
And Jamie, did he improve on it? Yes.
Jamie said Midsummer is one of my favorite modern horror films.
It is impressive.
I have not watched it. I have to confess, I have not watched it.
I have been mildly curious, but again, the few people I know who have seen it, it's really been mixed reviews. So I just can't bring myself to go there.
Well, James,
I
what's
will.
your number?
I will warn you, just like Doctor Sleep, it is about 2.5 hours long.
Ooh.
Midsummer?
Yeah,
That's okay.
well, at least the theatrical of Doctor Sleep. The director's cut's 3 hours, but
Time doesn't matter as long as Batman and Superman aren't in it. James, number 2.
okay. My number 2 is from 2015, a movie I used to violently hate and now can respect it and am mildly amused by it.
Gods?
It is The Lobster.
It's another one I never got around to watching.
And this one, and I remember because I was talking to Rob on the podcast a few years ago about it. And this is one of those ones that is just the movie is from beginning to end pretty absurd, the premise and the dialogue and everything. But there's one particular scene that I don't enjoy watching, and it involves the death of a dog.
I've never seen it, I have to be honest. But is it Colin Farrell in that movie?
Yes, he's the star. Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz. Yeah.
It explains a lot. Okay. Sorry, man, I had to go there. I started in a movie with him once. Now every movie he does is great.
Oh, I know. He remember he tried to throw out a topic of movies with people we know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Uh-huh. I see how it's going here.
You knew Total Recall was going to be number 1.
It'd be the only one on our list. All right, my number 2, and I watched this one over and over again, but it is still so hard to watch. It's 2010. It's a remake of the 77. I Spit in Your Grave.
Oh yeah.
I think I watched. I know I saw parts of the original by mistake because my uncle was a bit of an idiot and would forget to rewind the tape back to Star Wars because we had a video. They had a video. He lived with my grandparents, and I spent time with my grandparents on the weekends. And they had a videotape that had Star Wars, something else, and then I Spit on Your Grave. And I would watch Star Wars. Of course, I would not rewind the film. I would not rewind the tape. And then the next time I'd be over, I'd go to watch Star Wars. I put it in, hit play, and it was I Spit on Your Grave. So,
where's the Wookiee? Yeah, no, it's not Star Wars. It's the end of the movie is so justifying after everything that transpires. That's why I think I keep going back to it.
Oh, she gets her revenge.
Oh, huge. Huge.
It's kind of the whole point.
And that's some of the most hard stuff to sit through, that initial attack, but then what she does afterwards.
Yes.
So, yeah. Ouch.
Had I seen the whole film, it would have probably made this list. But I've not seen the entire film. So.
You don't need to. Just one scene. That's all you need.
No, I can't justify that.
All right. Well, let's go with
if that was the case, there would be a few movies that, like Annie, would be on this list. The remake.
Just because it exists.
Exactly.
All right. Number 1. I need this answer.
So my number 1 is The Human Centipede, but it is the entire trilogy. Because this takes me in, this disturbs me or upsets me in a chain. So the first film was a good film, like I've said before. The effects are disturbing with what he does, the final creation and the stuff that happens with it. That is a disturbing image, and it's an iconically disturbing image. The second film, the entire premise of the film is just sick and disturbing.
Yeah.
And then you add in what he does at the end of the film, with the little spiky ring. Okay, that's the next level. That's just
It's one of those films where you're watching it going, oh, they can't outgross me here, and they go, hold my beer.
exactly.
Yes.
And then the third one came along and was they went too far. It got too ridiculous, and then they had they tried to do the hold my beer moment with the penis mutilation thing, and then it just got stupid, and it just makes me angry, so it upsets me that way. So there's my gamut of the Human Centipede trilogy and how it's disturbing and upsetting.
Dr. Stevel agrees with you. Human Centipede 2 is freaking brutal, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jamie came back and she said, in the original I Spit on Your Grave, the actor almost really died in the hanging scene, and I wasn't aware of that.
Oh.
Wow.
Brutal.
That's scary.
Yes. Remember, in the 70s, safety regulations?
Must not have been an actor job.
Exactly. All right, James, number 2.
Nope. Number one.
Number one.
My number one is
2 again because it's Colin Farrell.
Mine's number one is no surprise, from 2008. Probably always will be number one for this reason. And one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It is the original Martyrs.
I'm not surprised, and yes, that's a really good movie, and it does have some pretty disturbing scenes.
Yeah.
Again, the French horror thing, like what
I know.
They don't want to fight. They just want to drink wine and write poetry. And they come up with some sick shit.
And freak you out. That is on their list. Freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have not seen that movie, though.
I watched it on James's recommendation, and I really liked it. It was a cool flick.
It's one of those ones where it changes direction several times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Make sure it's the original.
The original.
James,
They made it. Give it a good, honest watch.
Yeah.
I mean, an 08 movie's already got a remake?
Yeah. They made an American remake, and
an American remake, of course.
It's not great.
Now I gotta watch it.
It's not as awful. I'd say like the American remake of Inside is pretty good. American remake of Martyrs is not so good, and then the remake of an already American movie that they did of Cabin Fever is just abysmal.
Waste of film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly.
There we go. Well, my number one is probably way off from everything we've been talking about, but it disturbs me in such a way. I had an ex that hated this movie because of how much it disturbed her. And I kept saying, that's the point of this movie. You know, this movie was designed for that. It's based on a real story. During the Vietnam War, in the New Yorker posted it about a girl that was abducted from a village, raped, and killed in this group.
Oh.
So 1989's Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn.
Oh.
The topic itself is what gets you. What they do to her, you know, the killing, and then everything afterwards. It is an amazing film to watch, acting-wise. These guys are on the top of their game in this movie. But the topic itself is rough. It is very rough.
I've never seen it. I didn't know what it was about.
It is a good movie.
One of the few Michael J. Fox really serious roles. You know, it flew under the radar when it first came out. It got a bit of a following afterwards, but not as much as some of the other stuff. But it is so good. Sean Penn is great.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's in it. John Leguizamo's in it.
Wow. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I honestly I had no idea what that film was about. I just thought it was just another war movie.
No. Now you gotta watch it. Give it a shot. I'm not gonna throw things around like James.
Okay, yeah, please don't, because
He made me do it.
I'm getting ready to feast on the Feast trilogy.
Oh, here we go.
So I'm gearing up for it.
Pam says, "Hi guys, Midsummer is garbage. I'd rather watch paint dry."
See what I mean? Mixed reviews.
Well, she could always watch Jaws.
I love that.
Just 1 week.
Oh,
one week without it.
That scab seems to be healing over. We'll just pick that right back up.
1 week. What? Where's Mary Anthony?
He's not.
Just swipe him away. Bring in Mary Anthony. We're good.
She is not here to save you tonight, buddy.
1 week. Just 1 week. I have one honorable mention I want to throw out. Oh, I'm sure it did get mentioned because you do it all the time. But I have one honorable mention because of the whole movies that make me angry thing. Okay, and I just want to throw it up because I might not get another chance. 2006's Southland Tales.
Oh, I like that one.
Of course you do. Let me put it this way: how much I dislike this film. I would probably put it at my number 3 spot. I borrowed this movie from my buddy. He rented it from Blockbuster. He'd already had it for a month, but hey, no late fees, right? At that point. He'd had it for a month. He never watched it. I was curious because I heard who was in it. The lineup sounded amazing. So I take it from him. He says, sure, just return it to Blockbuster when you're done. So the next day, I put it in. I watched this movie. I took it. I returned it to Blockbuster, and I asked the guy at Blockbuster for my money back.
Yep.
That movie makes 0 sense at all. The only decent acting in the entire film was Justin Timberlake, and he's only a small part of the film.
So basically, it didn't disturb or upset you. It angered you.
It upset me because it made me angry. Yes, it's in the Amerigeddon file. Like, it's in that level. Like,
I'm sensing another list.
I don't have enough to make 10. Unless you want to count the movies that made me angry without watching them, like Annie.
That still counts.
I know I don't have enough to make a full 10 there.
Oh, Pam says, I prefer Jaws over Midsummer. That's not really saying it's
right
good.
On.
No. It's
no,
not really
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
It's a shot against James. I'll take it.
We'll let him have that one. I only had 2 on my honorable mentions. One is Rescue Dawn with Christian
I still
Bale
haven't seen that.
and Steve Zahn. These guys look emaciated, and that's the they're in a POW camp, and that was the hard part for me to watch. Is all these people so thin, The last one, and Jamie can back me up on this, and I'm surprised it wasn't on this list anywhere. Serbian film.
I haven't
never
seen
watched it.
You guys haven't watched it?
No, you talked about it way back when. That was all I needed.
Yep. Okay. There's a couple scenes in there.
It's an infamous movie. I'm aware of the movie. I just never pulled the trigger on it.
I did look up a list of like the top disturbing films, just to make sure I wasn't missing something. And Human Centipede 2, and a Serbian film, and another one called 12 Days of Sodom.
Yep.
Came up in 3 different lists. So
Jamie says, a Serbian film is traumatizing. You guys
That's
haven't
what
seen
I
it,
hear.
Right? No.
Really?
No.
Do you know what I think?
Don't know. No. Stop. No. Rob, no.
I have also heard
I
that
will get a newspaper and swat you in the nose. No.
I have also heard that it's not as bad as it's overblown to be. But
I don't want to find out.
Jamie said Solo is full of poop, literally. That's the 120 Days of Sodom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Pam says, fight him, Jason, but stay 2 meters away. Air punches.
air punches. What, Willie?
I never thought of that. Excellent. Well, that was quite the list.
Yeah, I definitely need something.
I'm gonna go watch the Smurfs now, just to cleanse the palate.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same. I'm gonna go watch something, some of the most innocent programming I can find.
Right. Old Yeller. No, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, no.
He'll pick something truly disturbing like Teletubbies.
Right. That's oh my god. I swear.
Hey, you have a movie that is like some childhood fare, Rob. You have
Is it 15 seconds long?
No. What was HR Puff? No, not HR Puff and stuff. What's the? You have that movie that's from our childhood.
Oh, Banana Splits.
Banana Splits. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That'll be a sweet and innocent childhood film.
Yeah. We still have to do a view and review on that.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I've refrained from trying to watch it otherwise because I really want to do a view and review of that film.
I have not watched it yet either. It sits up there and I look at it and it's like, nope.
Let's make sure that when things lift, we really need to make that happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, but for today, I guess that's it for another week at the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
We will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Shut up!